Hey guys, welcome to Lauren's Book Corner. um, I hope you're all doing really well. My name is Lauren if you're new here. Um, Today I have a library sale, Friends of the Library sale book haul to share with you. It's a lot. I'm gonna try to squeeze this into one video, just simply because it's, hopefully that's okay. I think it's a little bit easier to do it that way. So it's not like a million videos. But I'm not going to get into what these books are about or anything like that. I'm just going to show them to you. Um, it was a good library book sale. It was a little chaotic. I was not anticipating the lineup when I got there. We tried to get there right when it started, which I had done at their last sale. And it was like the last time I went, it was like the most relaxing experience. They had, just a few people there. I was able to browse and all of that. This time, there was a bunch of people there with big boxes and scanners. And I'm so sorry if any of you do this for a living, but it absolutely drives me bonkers at library sales when people come with the scanners and the big boxes, because they like to scoop and you feel like you have to like hurry because they're like kind of pushing the way through, and oh, it was not the most relaxing experience. So I was just grabbing, which I don't like to do, but I felt like I had to hurry, and so it was a little bit stressful, but it's okay. I ended up with a bunch of Harlequins, which was categories, which was what I was looking for. And I'm really not trying to come down on anybody who does resale for a living. I think it's a great way to, um, make extra money on the side. It's just kind of the etiquette of certain people when they're doing it at library sales, and the way they do it can be kind of aggressive, and that stresses me out. So I hope I'm not offending anyone. um, Anywhoozy whatsy, let's get into the books. So I did find some historicals. I kind of just went by covers because, again, I didn't really have time to like read the backs because people were just like going nuts. So I have this one, I think is historical. I don't actually know, but it's Lost and Found by Jane Ann Krantz, and I thought, oh, it's gonna have a step back, and that's no, but that's okay. And anything I end up, because I had to kind of grab things quickly, anything I don't end up actually wanting for my collection, I will just redonate back to the library so that they can or either the library or like a local thrift store or something like that. So I grabbed that one. I did find two with step backs. I was very excited about these. So I found this one by Rosemary Rogers called Midnight Lady. And here's the cover. I love when they have the embossed, has the little side, and there's our step back. Thought that one was really pretty. This one is by Marcia Canham, The Last Arrow. It's like this. Has a rose on the back, and this one just has a guy. And whoever owned it previously mentioned that this is book 2, and then lets you know what book 1 is. So that's kind of helpful. I found a time swept novel. I was so excited. I love time travel in books, and these time swept ones, I have one other on my shelf. Usually the female lead ends up somehow traveling back in time and meets her love interest, and this one's by Dee Davis, and it's called The Promise. Not my favorite cover for a time swept, but I'm still excited to read it. So got that. I like swashbuckle type tales with pirates and ships, anything like that. I get excited for it. So I found this one by Lindsay Sands, and it's called The Lady Pirate. So this one doesn't have a step back, but I'm actually really excited just to read this one. Okay, and let's see, I do have a couple more historicals here. We have Stephanie Laurens is an author that I seem to find quite often. This one is Loving Rose by Stephanie Laurens. This is further down in this series. I don't know if you have to read her books in order or not. I know she's really known for her Sinister, I think is the series, the Sinister novels. I've heard mixed reviews on those. I do have one in that series, but I grabbed that one. I love the cover on that one. And then this series I'm very interested in because it's the Adventure Quartet. So it's a lot of like stories about privateers and ships and adventure by Stephanie Laurens. This is book 4. There's 4 books total in the series. And book 1 is actually included with my Audible subscription. So I might have to listen to that one. This is called Lord of the Privateers by Stephanie Laurens. And this one, yes, this one did have a step back, which I did not expect. That was a secret step back. I found a Mary Balogh. This is 2 novels in one. I've heard good things about her Regency books. It's A Counterfeit Betrothal and The Notorious Rake. So that'll be a nice way to try out some of her books. This is the oldest one I found. It doesn't have a step back, but I love the cover on this one. This is Joanna Lindsey, Secret Fire, and this is like definitely retro looking. It's got the yellow sprayed edges, and this one came out in 87, so year before I was born. Looking forward to that one too. I'm looking forward to all of these. Okay, I did find some middle grade YA books that I just picked up quickly. So I found Howl's Moving Castle, which if you are a Studio Ghibli fan like me, that's one of my absolute favorites. I love Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle I love all of them, but those are my 2 favorites, and I've always wanted to read this. I think it's actually a trilogy, but I was really happy to get a copy of that. I found this, I squealed a little bit internally. I didn't do it because it was so busy. This is The Land of the Big Red Apple, Little House on Rocky Ridge Years. These are incredibly hard to find. So I love Little House. I'm a huge fan of the original series. And then there were different series, like spin-off series that came out later. And I'm not sure if this one's about, I think it's about her mom. I think it's about Caroline. I'm not sure. No, it's about Rose. Okay, this is about Rose. I thought there was a series about her mom too, but yeah, I was just very excited to find this. So this is going right on our middle grade shelf at home. And hopefully I'll get to read that to my daughter one day. My son's not super interested in Little House, but well, he likes the show, but not so much the books. I found a Christopher Pike. I have never read Christopher Pike, but I have heard people talk about him or her. Is Christopher Pike a gal or a guy? You never know sometimes with names. It's a guy. Okay. Christopher Pike, Last Act. I know nothing about this, but it was a really cool vintage cover, and so I picked it up to try it out. I found this Farewell to Manzanar. This is a Bantam Starfire book, and this has to do with okay, so I love stuff that revolves around World War II, that has to do with, like, I don't love that what happened in that time in history, but I like learning about that time in history, and I love reading about things that have to do with, like, concentration camps and people, survival stories, and just hearing their stories and all of that. And this one is something I feel like you don't see as much, and I think this has to do, the Japanese American family and the internment camps that they did, which is something I feel like you don't see as much. So I'm really interested in trying this. This is probably going to be hard to read, but it is YA, so hopefully it won't be as heavy, but I think it'll be a really good story. It says, as haunting as the Diary of Anne Frank, the touching true story of a Japanese American family during World War II. So yeah, I'm really excited to try this. And then I found Teacher's Pet by Richie Tankersley Cusick. I am the author of The Lifeguard. I don't know. This just looked fun. Kind of like a bit of a thriller, I think. So that'll be fun to try out. Okay, guys. We were talking about this in one of the sprints. I can't remember which one. We were talking about the teenage death books. I found a Lurleen McDaniels, and it's 2 novels in one, and I don't really want to read this, but I kind of do. If I don't end up reading it, I'll give it to my sister. She was a huge Lurleen McDaniels fan. So yeah, the first thing it says on the back is 16-year-old Melissa Austin has always worked hard to get what she wants. As the school year begins, her work is paying off, her grades are up, and she's landed a coveted spot on the Brain Bowl team. She and her best friend, Jory Delaney, are determined. They have the best junior year ever. Then, Melissa receives devastating news about her health. At first, she refuses to accept the doctor's diagnosis, but as her illness gets worse, she cannot deny the truth. So, yeah, that's how these books usually go. And then I did find a really nice copy of Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor. I have the first book in this series. It's a duology, and I've been wanting to read it. Oh, I forget what the first book is called. Oh, Strange the Dreamer. Yeah, Strange the Dreamer. This has been on my to read list for a really long time. So now I have both books in the duology, and hopefully I can get to them soon. Okay. Again, Lauren is sitting on the floor. Why do I do this to myself? Okay. I did find one Sandra Brown. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but I actually do collect Sandra Brown books too. She reminds me a little bit of Nora Roberts, and I've liked what I've read by her so far. This is Another Dawn. I really hate this cover. I think it's really ugly, but I don't care because I want to read the book. So I grabbed that. I did find some Nora. I was very excited. I found Divine Evil by Nora Roberts. Once Again, which is actually 2 books in one. This has Sullivan's Woman and Less of a Stranger. I found Starlight, which is actually, again, 2 books. This has Hidden Star and Captive Star. And if you guys will remember, I don't know if you watched my last haul, but I mentioned I hauled the stars of, is it Mytheria? Where is it? I had it here. Here we go. Yeah, I hauled this one. And this is book 3 in the series, while this has book 1 and 2. So now I can read the trilogy. I also found Blue Skies. This has Summer Desserts and Lessons Learned. I found Windfall, and this has Impulse and Temptation, which those have to be short because this book itself isn't very long. I found another book in the McGregor series. I almost have all of the McGregors now, so I could start reading them. This is The Winning Hand. I love these. I love when I can find the silhouette editions of her books. And then Irish Hearts by Nora Roberts. This has 2 books. This has Irish Thoroughbred and Irish Rose. I told you guys something. I think it was in one of my other videos I mentioned that the book I was reading, it's called, oh shoot, I'm not going to remember it now. It's like The Heroes, Heart or something was her first book. I actually had that wrong. I have a list that I've written out of all of her books, and I have her standalone novels in one section, and I have her series in another, and I didn't realize that one of her series actually came out first, and I believe Irish Thoroughbred was her first book. If I'm correct, I could be wrong, but yeah. Anyway, I was really excited to find that. And then, I already showed you that. Okay, I'm a little scatterbrained. It's kind of early on Sunday morning, and we're actually about to head to church, but I wanted to get this done so I can put all these books away. Okay, so let's keep going here. I found a bunch of category. You know what? I do think I'm going to end this video here, and I'm going to do a part 2 because we're already at 15 minutes and I want this to be able to upload. So I'm going to end this video here, and I will come back and show you all of the category books in the next video, and I'll try to upload these both on the same day. So I will see you guys in a little bit, and I hope you have a lovely day.